So we just got the announcement. A lot of people figured we were going to hear it. A lot of people thought this was going to be the end result. But now it's official. Carla Esparza is going to make her first title defense against Zhang Weili later on in the year. I'll tell you what, nobody is going to be able to accuse Carla Esparza of taking an easy title fight, taking an easy defense for her first fight. No one's going to be able to accuse her of taking an easy touch. Look, personally, as far as my opinion is concerned, I think Zhang Weili is the cream of the crop. I think as we sit here right now today, she's the uncrowned champion. I think she's going to be a big favorite going in there against Carla Esparza. I gave her the fight against in the rematch. I gave her the fight against Rose Namajunas. I thought she pulled it out. I'm not mad at people who want to give it to Rose, whatever, man. Split decisions. I think it was a split decision. They give it to Rose. That's fine. Personally, I gave it to Zhang Weili, though. I thought she earned it. I thought she came out in that next fight and took out that loss on Joanna. Man, we saw what happened in that first fight against those two. Just an absolute barn burner. Phenomenal fight. And then we saw what happened in the rematch. Zhang Weili, man, she is like a force in nature. Right? She's out there. She switches up in her last. She switches up and in the training camp goes and starts training with Henry Cejudo and his team with Captain Eric Alberson. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his last name. But just a phenomenal team out there. A phenomenal team out there in Arizona, I believe, is where they're training. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting, all the guys that they had, Henry Cejudo's head coach, Captain Eric, all the guys that he's worked with, all the fighters, all the athletes that he's been around, right? The wrestlers and this and that, all the people. He said Zhang Weili was the best athlete that he's ever worked with. Think about that statement. Think about what we've seen Henry Cejudo do. Think about the accomplishments that man has earned. Whether we're talking about as an Olympic wrestler or whether we're talking about as an MMA fighter. Think about what he's done. How athletic he is, how quick he is, how smooth he is, how powerful he is. The way he was able to transition and come over to MMA and pick up the striking and be dominant. Remember that fight with Marlon Moraes? What he did to that man? The way he came. Zhang Weili is the best athlete that he's worked with. But she's not just an athlete. She's somebody who is a tremendous athlete, incredible athletic skill, but she's a fighter. You can tell when she goes out there, she's a fighter. She knows how to fight at a very high level, but she gets her arms around it. She likes it. She's not just somebody going through the motions. She's not an athlete who's fighting. She is a fighter who's a tremendous athlete. And I think that's a very distinct difference. Now, that's not taking anything away from Carla Esparza. I'm only talking about Zhang Weili. But I'm talking about her because I think she's going to win this fight. I'm talking about her because I think she's going to be the big favorite. I'm talking about her because I don't think Carla Esparza is going to come away with a successful title defense. She's going to lose that belt just like she lost it the last time. Two-time champion, lost it both times in the first defense. Right? First time she loses it to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. This time I think she's going to lose it to Zhang Weili. Don't think it's going to go 5 rounds. Right now, I get it. I haven't handicapped these fights. The fight was just announced. It's all off the top of my head. So cut me a little bit of slack here. But you think about what Carla Esparza's done, okay? You think about this run that she's had. A lot of decisions. She's only got one stoppage victory in like the last 6 years or something, 7 years, something like that. It's been a very long time. A lot of times she goes in there, has to score some takedowns, has to control things that way to end up getting a victory. She's not explosive like Zhang Weili. She doesn't have the ferociousness. She's not anywhere near the striker that she is. I don't think she's going to be able to compete with her in the clinch. I mean, Zhang Weili's so strong, I don't know if she's going to be able to hold her down. Is she going to be able to get her down? Zhang Weili's got some good wrestling defense. I don't know. Not that she's never been taken down before. We just saw some of that, but I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. We've started to see some of the comments already with some of the things that have been online, the way it's been released. I don't know what the line's going to be. But I do know that this is the fight where I think Zhang Weili is going to be crowned the 2-time champion. So I look forward to breaking down all the film. I love going back and watching Zhang Weili's fights. I think she's incredibly impressive. I think about what that second fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and what she was able to do. I would have went back a little bit and watched the second fight with Rose Namajunas. How she was landing good shots in that first round and that second round. But nevertheless, we're here. So let me know what you guys think. Are you as excited as I am for this one? Am I underestimating what Carla Esparza is bringing to the table? I mean, that last fight with Rose was so was so disappointing. And look, I'll be the first to admit I got that one wrong. I thought Rose Namajunas was going to win that fight. So here I am, predicted that one incorrectly, thought Carla was going to get the loss, Rose was going to show up. Doesn't turn out that way at all. Am I wrong on this one as well? Does Carla come in here? Does she find some kind of niche? Does she understand how to get that takedown? Is her timing great? Are we going to end up saying Zhang Weili was almost too explosive for her own good? She pushed the pressure a little bit. She went too much. Carla was able to dip underneath those attacks, get the takedown, and score a lot of top control time and get the win that way. Hit some ground and pound, get the win that way. Is that going to be the case? Is she going to find a way to tire Zhang Weili out? So that by the 4th and the 5th round, she's not bringing it anymore because of all the heavy wrestling that she's had her doing? I don't know. Zhang Weili's got some good movement, man. Good lateral movement. Moves around well. Has good solid leg kicks. Could probably take a lot of the fire out of the explosiveness when Carla tries to shoot for that double leg. But I don't know. I can't wait to find out, though. I cannot wait to find out. So let me know what you guys think. Am I underestimating what Carla is bringing to the table? Or is this going to be Zhang Weili? And if she does win and she gets that belt again, how long is she going to be able to reign at the top of the division? Personally, I think she could stay there for a long time. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think.